can't do it. I just can't figure it out. I mean, it's not working for me. It's not going to work for me. This program it's got to be broken. It doesn't work. There are a flurry of doubts flowing through the mind of your prospects and customers like this all day long, especially in the early days where you haven't made everything quite as smooth with your product as possible, maybe even not your marketing material. Yet it is your duty to ensure that they overcome these concerns if you want them to be successful in purchasing and operationalizing your product. In fact, if you're truly servicing your customer, which I know you're wanting to do, you should feel an absolute obligation to help them get over these little bumps in the road so that they can capture the big rewards that they're after. So in this last session of the APFADS transformation system, we're going to talk about how to build a strong support builder. Now, if you haven't watched the previous videos, I highly recommend you start all the way back from the beginning. Otherwise, for the rest of us, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to this channel all about building products that matter and developing high-performing product cultures. My name is Jason Carver, and I want to get you onto the pragmatic path to explosive growth. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so that you know when my next cheat code drops. Everyone needs support. We are social animals by nature. Some of us maybe more readily gravitate towards self-service type of support, but some of us may actually want a human connection. Yet either way you look at it, everyone needs support. And this is what it means to have an empathetic approach to building great products, and your time here is well worth the effort, a hundredfold. In fact, when someone wants to start a new business, this is what I first tell them. I say, hey, go out and find an audience of people that you can help sponsor. And when you're talking to them, all of the problems and pains that they're dealing with are going to come out, and you're going to clearly find from the collective voice of that audience what product you need to build. And so it just removes all of the guesswork from the process by supporting them through conversation and then building a product to support that. So when you then go commercial, there's some aspects that you need to keep in mind. First is that you need to eliminate the need for support by making everything as simple as possible, right? The more complicated you create things, well, the more complicated that your support needs to be. Now, often engineering-led firms drive to create flexibility and solutions to account for all of the possible ways that someone could want to use something, the product that you create. I know this firsthand. I used to be one of those engineers. I built crazy flexible products that allowed customers to configure features in a myriad of ways. And while it was hyper flexible and very sticky once it got adopted, it created a huge adoption barrier where no one could successfully configure the product without training or customer success assistance. This is what's added tremendous amounts of friction to the buying process. Now, if you're in a place where this is the ideal situation, then what I suggest is that you always start with a configuration that is dead simple, out of the box, prepared. Don't make customers have to think about the right way to set something up. Make it dead simple to get started, shortening time to value, and then allow for the power users who have verified the value within your product to dive deeper a little bit after that they've completed a successful onboarding process. In this way, you're going to provide guidance for their journey, and this guidance starts from the very first touch with your company. Your guide is their discovery of their problem. You're going to possible solutions that they may be able to find, and then, of course, guiding them through your product. Now, when the product that you guide them along is a foolproof plan, is what you're trying to guide them through the adoption process. You want to guide them to successfully reach milestone 1, then milestone 2, then milestone 3, etc. You want to provide mentorship for them along that path. Remember, you are the expert in the problems that you solve. You are the expert in your product. Mentoring them through the problems and operationalizing your product is a key aspect here. You want to act as the Sherpa that takes them along the path to complete their journey. Now be ready to jump in and help them where they need it. This can be with knowledge base that allows them to answer their own questions, or a sort of life support assistant option as needed. Now, many think that they should force customers to pay for support because, well, I have to pay for those one-on-one hours, and so I'm going to need you to pay for that to offset that cost. Okay, while yes, there are some economics to be contended with here, you should be looking to do the opposite, especially early on. Support your customers first and make sure that they are successful. Their success is 100 times more important than staying on track for releasing the next product feature. Have your product experts, such as your product staff or your PMs, do this, and if you just can't support, hiring additional staff. You can use this knowledge that you gain from helping them through these pains and complexities of the journey and feed that right back into improving the product. Then as you build more of this knowledge, awareness, and support directly into your marketing materials, into your support materials, and into your product itself. Build a community atmosphere that shows that you actually want to help your customers, not that you're trying to avoid talking to them at all costs. The nurtured belonging is what is going to help them feel more connected to you and your product and create brand and product fans. Also, you in your customer journey, you know it better than they do, right? You know what would be valuable for them because you've asked them. You've asked a whole collective of them. So you want to find ways to provide them with unanticipated value as you're supporting them. Value that they just were not expecting. Value that's not on the front of the brochure when they made the purchase, but something that is surprising to them, that helps them recognize that, hey, you have their best intention at heart. The timing of this is important. If you give them something right away after purchase, don't link it to the consumption of the product. For example, let's say you give them a free course on a 201 level related topic. At the same time that they sign up, now that's going to distract them from operationalizing, say, the 101 level of your product. If instead you send them a welcome packet in the mail with a branded USB charger, this is something that's unexpected, it's useful, and it does not distract them from your product experience. This doesn't mean that these bigger value adds couldn't be used. You just need to delay them until a later phase of the journey, say after 1 week, and really depending on when it feels like they are past that crunch time of being overwhelmed with just trying to get in and acclimated to your product. Now, this is a great way of doing data-driven, or if you're gamifying your product ladder, then you could have a planned release of value at every increment of the ladder. So think about it, champion customer days when you invite them into an in-person or online experience where you offer them special training, free advisory service, maybe a sneak peek at upcoming product concepts, and maybe a chance to shape your roadmap by voting on what topics they want to discuss. As we've talked about many times in this series, you don't have to have all the answers here. You just have to ask your prospects and customers, and they will tell you what they value. It's really all you need to know. So now on the other side of the coin, again, for your team, the first thing you need to do is follow along with the other APFAD building blocks. Now this is about helping use this playbook for servicing your customers. That is something that's a way of supporting your team, giving them a playbook by which that they can follow along and know, what should I be doing today? Oh, I'm servicing my customer. How am I doing that? Oh, I'm helping build awareness today. So, there's a first step of supporting them through delivering products that matter as employees. Now, since a portion of that is establishing a shared purpose, our next element is establishing shared principles. This helps everyone operate in a manner where they have enough clarity on how to operate given your principles, given the important decision-making clarity that they need. Now, I advocate for 2 levels of principles. First is corporate principles, and the second is product principles. Now, corporate principles define behaviors that you want embodied and how you want to serve your customer. There's many places across the web where you can find out more about corporate principles, and we won't go into them here. Product principles, on the other hand, is a unique concept. Product principles take the corporate principles a step further by defining that the product's behavior that you want to embody to serve your customers. What you're doing here is personifying the product by defining design principles that you want to ensure are promoted with every product planning and implementation decision. So this could be things like we want it to be simple. Finally, supporting your team means employing servant mentorship, understanding what growth that they need and mentoring them through that desired growth. You have really an obligation to do this on two fronts. First is service to your customers. The customers deserve a team that continues to grow and improve over time, bringing them more customer value. Second is a service to your employees and coworkers. You deserve to give them growth opportunities to improve their career and their quality of life. Whether it's with your company or not, you're investing in them. This is what servant leadership is all about. It's also about servicing them to make it easier for them to let their genius shine. Be sure to remove all the roadblocks that they encounter so that they can just focus their time and energy on productive efforts serving clients. These are guiding virtues. Talking with your team will provide you with an even greater insight on how you can best serve your team on your mission. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. I really hope you found that valuable. Now, if you want more cheat codes for product success, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so that you know when my next one drops. And don't forget to leave a comment or reach out to me at carverversuschaos.com to tell me exactly the type of topics that you would like to cover next. Till then, my friends, have fun and play well.